Hello, my name is Owen, and welcome to a quick review of Robin Hobb's Ship of Magic. What I want to do is give a brief overview of the book's about, tell you the things that I liked, and tell you things that I didn't like, if there were any, because sometimes there's not. But jumping straight into it, this is the second trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings series by Robin Hobb. And if you know anything about me, you know I love that first trilogy, the Farseer trilogy. I thought it was fantastic, maybe my favorite fantasy books of all time. So coming into this is a high bar, but this one we're in a completely new continent, completely new cast of characters. We're following the Vezrit family and the people that circle around their family for the most part, and they have a magic boat, a ship of magic, if you will. Essentially, it's a boat that comes to life and talks and thinks and feels. It has a soul, like me and you. Pretty deep. So we follow this family and the drama that ensues after the ship comes to life. And very similar to Farseer trilogy, this is very much slice of life fantasy. And that's going straight into the things that I love about this book. I'm discovering that not just slice of life fantasy, but just slice of life as a genre, subgenre, is my jam. Every book that I love ever has a hint of that slice of life. And what do I mean by slice of life if you don't know what I'm talking about? It's books that are, in general, slower paced. In general, a lot slower paced, because it's not plot driven. It's always character driven. And that's what really is the heart of these slice of life type books, where you spend a lot of time with the characters doing, on paper, mundane things, right? Like if you told me that this book was going to have a major portion of it just be Althea working on a boat. That's not a magic one. You're like, oh, and then the pirates attack. No, she's just working. Until the giant whale. No, it's just a boat, and she's just working on it because she's trying to earn her sailing legs, trying to get some experience. Sounds a lot like regular life to me. And you know what? Quite frankly, you tell me that way, this book sounds very boring. But it's not. Because you like Althea and you understand her internal struggle, you understand her motivations, and some of the characters that she interacts with on the boat, you understand their motivations as well. And it's quite fascinating. And that's what I said when I did my review of Farseer, is that I could read Fitz doing anything. I think he's one of my favorite characters of all time because of how much time we spent with him. And I said then too, that trilogy is written in the first person, which I think is very hard to do well, especially as well as Robin Hobb did it. So honestly, it was kind of ironic going into this series. I kind of missed the first person. I was like, there's no way any of these characters I'll be able to connect to on such a deep level as Fitz, because it's not the first person. We're not spending every single second of our perspective in his head. Rest assured, Robin Hobb is just a master. She can do no wrong. Because this is an ensemble cast, a proper ensemble cast with multiple POVs that for the most part get equal screen time to. And Robin Hobb's also not afraid to give looks into the perspective of characters that aren't your main characters per se. You get glimpses into the head of Kyle and his point of view, and some other side characters who on most part are just supporting or just interacting with the main cast in and out. Robin Hobb's not afraid to, this isn't a POV character. Yes, it is. It is. For this paragraph or this page, it is. And I like that it doesn't feel so structured as chapter begins, the heading is the character's name. Hi, it's Mike chapter now. No, we could bounce around with perspectives. It's always very clear whose perspective we're in. And they're all done very well. And Robin Hobb it's a masterclass, this book, of an ensemble cast, making us care about all the characters, making us understand all the characters, even if we don't agree with a lot of their decisions. Because I could see, and it was the same scenario with Molly in the last trilogy, right? I see people hating Molly. Saying, why do you do that? That Fitz. Because she's a character with her own wants and needs that don't necessarily always align with our main character, as much as we love him. And the same thing happens here with a lot of characters I could see people just absolutely despising. Like, Kyle, get out of here. You're a piece of junk. No one likes you. But characters I forget her name, Malta. It's she's making all the wrong decisions, right? Or if that's not her name, I think it's her name. Guys, this is my second time recording this review. It's been a week. Okay, it's been a week. It's the youngest daughter of the Vezrits, right? Wintrow's younger sister, essentially. She makes all the wrong decisions. She's always going against her mother and her grandmother. But then it's just like, she's so annoying, right? We're spending so much time with her. She's always just going to be so mean and grouchy. She's a little girl. She's a little girl getting into her own womanhood. She's like, you know what I mean? And she's kept in the dark about a lot of things. So a lot of her actions, when put into context, make perfect sense. And I think Robin Hobb is a master at that. Because like on paper, it's like, dude, if you just listen to what every single character is telling you, you wouldn't get us into such big kerfuffles all the time. But if you're put in her shoes, if you're put in this thing where you're trying to become your own person and your family is seemingly just like lame and they're keeping you in the dark, and it's like you make one wrong move and they're like, oh, you just cursed our entire bloodline, our soul is soul. You'd be like, what the hell? I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. You know what I mean? So I think in that case, like all the major POV characters are extraordinarily interesting. And I even if I don't always agree with their actions, they're just a joy to be around and enjoy this slice of life, slower pace. We're gonna spend time with these characters. They're going to the ball. They're working on the ship. They're just being pirates, right? It's just like Kenneth is also like such a fascinating character because it's very like, it could easily be like Jack Sparrow, super goofy pirate. It could very easily be Blackbeard, dangerous pirate. And he's just more of a nuanced character, right? He is very dastardly, he's very evil, but he has very complex ideas. You can tell he's very smart, but is he the most socially adept? Can be argued that is not the case. And the one thing I also really like of this book, without giving any spoilers, is that if you read Farseer Trilogy, you know how Robin Hobb just loves to wail on our main character and make their life miserable. Rest assured, that continues. That very much continues. And through this book, one of the most interesting things, it's like, what's it called? I think it's like progressive fantasy or like video game fantasy, where it's like the character powers up. Like Stormlight's kind of like this, right? Where it's like, oh, like I'm Callan, I'm a slave. And then by the end, he's like, I reach level 5 God. You know what I mean? This is like the opposite of that. Not in terms of character progression and growth, but in terms of like their actual like physical capabilities. Like they get beat up on. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to get crippled. Like, this character's going to get crippled. This character's going to get like emotionally traumatized in this way. And they're just going to get worse and worse. But they're still progressing through. They obviously still grow. And that's like the main growth there. But like, they get the crap beat out of them. And it's interesting, like having finished the book, like looking back to where they started, it's just like the growth is like, oh, I'm sorry, I feel so bad for you. But it's fascinating. And I love this slower pace. And I could see why people think that Live Ship, just from the first book alone, is better than Farseer. Because some people are like, Farseer is so boring, slice of life is not for me. And this is very much that as well, but maybe like with the switching of multiple POV characters makes like the slower pace like feel faster. But do I think it's going to be better? Who knows? Still up in the air. I think Fitz is going to be hard to beat, but for a starting book, it's just a masterclass on ensemble character work and balancing, introducing so many new characters with introducing us to a new world. And in terms of plot, like I said, you know very early on, it's like, all right, you introduce a pirate character, then you introduce a family who's traders with cargo. This is very early on, guys. I wonder if they're going to meet, right? It's an ensemble cast, pirate who really wants a ship of magic, family of traders who sail the high seas with a ship of magic. I wonder if they'll cross over. And you'd think it'd be like the big climax or like fairly soon, because like they introduce it very on. It's like, no, we're going to take our time. We're going to go to the backwoods and walk around the town a little bit. You know what I mean? There's no rush to get anywhere. Just like Farseer, right? The Red Ship Raiders are going to destroy the world. Are we going to destroy them in book 1? No. What about book 2? No. What about book 3? We'll wait to the last minute. That's just not what these books are about. It's about enjoying the journey. The destination, honestly, is unclear, if I'm being honest. But it's fascinating. And I love it. I think it's great. So I'm very excited to continue this trilogy. Robin Hobb, if this trilogy sticks to landing like I think it will, favorite author contention. Definitely favorite fantasy author contention. We'll see though. I think it's fantastic. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like the video and you want to see more like it in the future. And as always, thanks for sticking around.